Hey everybody. So today I'm going to do some steamer mussels. It seems a little bit intimidating, but it's actually super easy. And we're gonna do a topping for it as well with just a chimichurri with some fresh herbs. And then we're gonna do that first because steaming the mussels is really fast. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'll change my camera so you guys can see my cutting board again, and then yeah, start from there. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to mince up some garlic. Just gonna cut it up into pieces like this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to smash that a little bit. It makes it easier to get the wrapping off.
Also, didn't you say one time that it smashing it releases some
allicin? It's something that is in the garlic that is you can only get out if actually you kind of smash it, because it's in the inside the cell walls of the garlic. And I'm sure you guys know what chimichurri is. Anybody have a question about what that is? No? Everybody knows what it is?
I don't know if I actually know what it is, but
I mean, it can be any fresh herbs that you kind of you put garlic, maybe some chilies, a little bit of acid, like you put vinegar in it, or lemon, which is what we're going to do today. And you can kind of just, it's a kind of a topping that you would put on like steak, put it on oysters, all that, and like fish. It's really good on like salmon. I do one where I put you just do parsley and sun-dried tomatoes and dice it up finely, and then you top it on a salmon fillet after you cook it, just to give it a little bit extra flavor. So I'm just gonna dice this up nice and small because it's raw garlic, so you don't want like big, massive chunks of garlic in your chimichurri. You can also buy like pre-minced garlic if you wanted to, but it's nice to do the fresh stuff. So scoop that up. Put it in here. And then
the video. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it keeps turning off. I think it doesn't like the bouncing around. So this is just parsley. We're gonna do. I mean, like I said, you can kind of do anything you really like. If some people don't like cilantro because it tastes soapy, but some people really like it. I'm just gonna. This is parsley, and then this is mint. We're just gonna do like 3 equal parts of mint, basil, and parsley. And I get all my fresh herbs from Safeway. Safeway's has a real, once they kind of renovated their stores, their fresh herbs. They have a massive variety of fresh herbs there, and it's really good. So when you chop up fresh herbs, you really want a sharp knife, because otherwise it's just going to be really difficult to get through everything. And we're just going to kind of do the same. I'm just probably going to split this up so it's a little bit smaller.
Go ahead, Marnie. You're muted, but if you have a question, you can feel free to shout it out.
I was wondering, like, I have a little mini chopper that I would use, kind of like a little mini food processor. So could I do that with the herbs too, or does it get it too, like, small?
You lose a little bit of the juices and stuff. It really like kind of like pulverizes it into like a paste. You would almost get like a pesto out of it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, might liquefy
it. So yeah, you can do it. You just have to be a little bit careful, because it can go on you pretty quick, right?
Awesome, thank you.
Dan, maybe while you're chopping, I'll just ask you, I don't know if you eat a lot of seafood, but I think it's spot prawn season right now. Do you have any, do you ever cook them, and do you have any suggestions?
I've never eaten spot prawns. I saw them today when I was getting the mussels, and I was like, maybe that's something I should try too. But yeah, I've never tried it. But I mean, again, like this a chimichurri like this, it would be good on those spot prawns too. I mean, you could pan fry them, or you can grill them or whatever, and this is just a topping. Like, I take this topping, I put it on top of steaks. I'll take a rack of lamb and I'll put this on it too. Like it's really, and it's something that you can play with too. Like I never really looked up a recipe for chimichurri. I mean, I kind of just, it's one of those things. It's really easy to do, and it's just herbs and oil pretty much with garlic. So.
Where did you buy your mussels for today?
Where did I buy them? I bought them at a place down on Granville Island. There's like a little fish shack thing there, and they have oysters and stuff there as well. So okay. we had oysters yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, the spot prawns would go really good with chimichurri. You can poach them, you can pan fry them, you can bake them. Just don't overcook them.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Dan. I've lived here for a very long time now, and I always mean to buy them, and then it's kind of like the season is over before you even realize it's here.
Yeah, and they're a little bit expensive too. I mean, I think what I saw in the store today, they were $20 a pound.
Yeah.
So.
I would say go for it. You know, buy 6 of them. You know,
every once in a while you go for them for sure. I mean, we do that with Argentinian prawns. I really like those. All right, so we got everything chopped up in there. And then I got 2. I like things a little bit spicy. And actually, I'm kind of rethinking this. I'm probably just gonna do the 1 chili, because Elena's not gonna like that, my girlfriend. So then we're just gonna, and with chilies and stuff, if you keep the seeds in, it's gonna be spicier. I'm gonna keep the seeds in, but you just want to get in little pieces, because you don't want big chunks of this.
That looks funny. Sorry, but it looks like you're cutting your fingers when you do that.
Oh, I know.
It looks funny though. It's like, oh, okay.
You're brave. I put like half of one in.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna there's gonna be a lot of other things in there too. That's so one is just gonna give you that little bit of heat that you. And like a chimichurri too. I mean, something that you can do ahead of time as well. Like it's really good to kind of let these things like marinate for a little bit together, right? All the everything together. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I want to put a little bit of lemon juice in there, but I'm also taking some of the lemon rind and are gonna take a little bit of this off, and I'm gonna put it in with the mussels. So I'm just gonna shave some of the lemon zest off. You know, it's a little bit easier for me instead of like grating it and stuff. I just kind of take a knife and kind of just peel it off. You're just trying to get a little bit off without getting the white. What's that called?
This might be a stupid question, but does the zest make it, like, to me, the peel is kind of different than the lemon juice, but is it
the lemon, you get more flavor out of the zest than you do the juice. So say if I like, I'm gonna take the juice, I'm gonna put it in the chimichurri, but the lemon zest, I'm just gonna slice it up nice and small. I'm gonna saute it with the shallot here in some oil before I put it in the pan, and that's just gonna give like the dish a whole like another. You're gonna kind of get this little taste of little pops of lemon in there, right? It's really nice. I do this also with pasta. Like it's just it gives a whole little another dimension of flavor in your dish.
Yeah, I think sauteing it would be, like, I've seen recipes where they put it in raw.
Yeah.
Different things, and that just, I don't know. That doesn't really appeal. No pun intended.
It's not as strong as you think it is. Like it's not like, you know, when you, if you've ever, I mean, every time I go peel an orange, I bite into the orange to peel it, right? So you get that bitter, gross taste, but you don't get that bitter taste from the lemon zest in stuff. Like they'll use it a lot in baking and like lemon muffins, pound cake, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Do you always slice it like this, or do you ever grate it?
I have a hard time grating it just because I don't have the grip to hold the lemon and keep that pressure on the cheese grater. So I find it easier for me to, I mean, it takes a little bit longer, but I mean, it's, to me, it's worth it. If it, I mean, when you're eating it and then you get that little pop of lemon in there, you're like, oh, that's nice. So it's worth it. There's that little bit of extra. I mean, for me, cooking's not. I don't cook to eat. You know what I mean? It's like I really enjoy sitting here. If it takes me a couple hours, you know what? It's going to take me a couple hours to do this. So I just make sure I have the time and schedule everything properly. Especially if, I mean, I'll make this for people if they come over or whatever. You just, like I said, you can do a chimichurri the night before. You can do a lot of things the night before to make it a little bit easier for yourself. Okay, so now I'm just gonna slice this sucker in half. Oops. Sometimes this works, depends on the lemon, but we'll see how it works. If not, I might just have my grab my sous chef and she can squeeze it for me. Right. This one.
Man, it's so hot, eh? My God, I'm like in my room and I'm just dying here.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier. Bert and Dan were bragging about their air conditioning.
Oh,
I mentioned that I have an air conditioner.
That was bragging when you don't have one.
Yeah. All right. So the lemon juice is in there. We've got half a lemon. So the only other thing we got to do is just take some olive oil and pour it in there. And you want it, it seems like a lot of oil, but you need it to kind of, it's a sauce, right? And when it's not just all, oh shoot, I need a spoon. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys.
Ties.
It does. And I'm in Kamloops and last night was 40.
40.
Can't even imagine that, right?
Yeah. Ugh, it's getting there now. Ugh.
I'm assuming you have air conditioning then, eh, Mel?
I do, but I don't usually use it until the cats are plastered on the floor because because I have to pay for heat all year. I just
yeah.
I'm cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cat has all four limbs up in the air with the belly free.
Ooh, that looks
So as you can see, like it's still like it's pretty oily. Like you want just to be able to, you don't want it to be like all oil like above the thing. You just put enough in so it looks loose enough and it's a little bit they can move around and everything, right? So
What are the red things? I missed that part.
it's a Thai chili that I put in.
Oh,
So it's a little bit just so we
kick.
get a little bit of spice in there. And then that, like, we're just gonna let it sit for a bit and let it marinate. One thing that I always forget, especially when I do chilies, is don't rub your face after you cut chilies because that stuff on your hands gets in your eyes. It stings a little bit. I always forget, but just
I was going to mention that when you were cutting it because I do the same. I always touch my face after, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Okay. And so with the shallot, I want it to be diced small. So I'm going to put some lateral cuts in this onion carefully, just so you can. So you just put lines down the side there like that, and now I'm going to do some cuts on top like this. And you can, this is the same thing with onions as well. A shallot is just a really powerful onion. It packs a little bit more of a punch. So we want it to be nice and small. So by cutting lines in it like this, and then you have the natural lines of the shallot, all I have to do is now go like that, and I have a whole bunch of nice little pieces of onion, and I'm not going to have to reline everything up. So another trick too with, just having your knife sharp when you're cooking and cutting and everything is, when you have a sharp knife, you don't get that, you don't cry from onions because you're slicing right through and you're not getting all of the juices of the onions flying up into your face. So another little tip. Okay, so we are pretty much ready to start cooking here. I'm just gonna reorganize this so I can move my camera into. It's got my cooktop here. Just gonna put it on a medium heat. See my. Okay. Once that heats up, I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in there, and then the shallots and the lemon zest. And the mussels that I got them from like pretty good fishmongers. So like everything's cleaned. I don't have to go back and like rinse them all out. Just that's something that when you go get mussels and fish from a place like your butcher, right? Like you go to a butcher shop, you can say, hey, can you take that and pork shoulder and grind it down and make ground beef or that something. They love doing that kind of stuff for people, so it's part of their job. You can just ask them to make sure they clean your mussels for you. Let's put a couple plugs of olive oil in there, probably like a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, something like that. Let's wait till this gets up to heat. So I'm going to take a little bit of onion in there and see if it's hot enough. You want to make sure you get some sizzling going on. You don't want to put your stuff in there when it's not hot enough. You can see that you got it. So I'm just going to just want to make sure you keep on moving the shallots around, because you just want to sweat them out. You just want to get them to so they're translucent. You don't want to burn them. If you see getting too much color on your onions, I mean, I use shallots. You can use onions. You can put garlic in here if you want. I just didn't put garlic because I put garlic in that chimichurri. So just make sure you keep moving it around so it doesn't burn. Just let it cook for a bit. And I'm not going to add any any salt or anything to this because the mussels are from seawater, right? So they're gonna have salt in them. There's all that. It's almost like a broth that comes out of them. It's another major thing that you need with when you're doing mussels or clams. This would work with the same recipe would work with clams as well. You need bread. Bread is a necessity to have with steamer mussels because there's like all that broth at the end that you need to dip.
So that broth that you get with mussels is its natural juices?
Yeah, like you'll have the broth that comes out of it. I'm just gonna put I'm gonna put some white wine in with this, and that's it. So it's gonna be white wine and the broth, the natural stuff that comes out of the mussels, and that's all we're gonna eat. That's all that is.
Is there an alternative to the wine?
Yeah, you don't have to put wine in if you don't want to. You could put beer in. You could put chicken broth. You just need a little bit of liquid.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen people do it without wine, without anything. They just put a pound of clams in a hot oven in a pan and let it go, and that's all they did. So
Awesome.
I feel like I've had like red Thai mussels. So in the broth, there's like red Thai paste and then coconut milk.
yeah.
So that could be an idea if you're not into wine.
All right.
I kind of like what Dan said earlier is, food is food. You're just playing with it. You can put chopped tomatoes in there. You could put mushrooms in there. You could put whatever your curry, red paste. You can make it Portugal style with paprika. It's all
whatever flavors you like. This is something that is pretty basic, and then everything is like you just experiment with it. Oh, you want to try this time, try that time. It's all up to you, whatever you want to do. It's kind of look at a recipe and then you can change it to whatever you want, right? All right. So
What do you do to clean mussels, Dan?
you got to they'll have like what they call beards, and if they've these are open. If they've like, it's kind of like just
is it something you can just like rip off?
Grass, you just pull it off.
Oh, okay.
And scrub it off and stuff. I definitely didn't just do it. I got my girlfriend to do it quickly. Here.
Oh, nice girlfriend. Thank you, girlfriend.
That's all the stuff.
Ooh, those look nasty.
Like seaweed and stuff. Probably not. So, all right. Now that I turned off my pan here. It's got to get it back up to a heat that's good. All right. So now we're sizzling again. You can really smell like the lemon zest and everything in here too, which is really nice, really aromatic. So we're just gonna take the mussels and we're gonna dump them in. All right. Then I'm gonna take about half cup of white wine and pour it in there. Maybe a cup of wine. Might as well finish it. I'm just gonna give it little bit of a stir. Okay. Then I'm going to put a lid on it, and I'm just going to watch it. It's not going to take too long for these mussels. They probably will be done in around 10 minutes. So you just want to lid on. We'll let them steam for a bit.
So would that wine be like boiling? Or no?
Yeah, it will get to a boiling point for sure.
Okay, thank you.
We'll check on these mussels now and see if they're opening yet. Just want to, you're getting there. Some of them are open. Just want to give just give this a little.
Is there various degrees of openness, like in terms of telling how done they are? Whoop, but easy.
Not sure. I mean, once they, yeah, there. I mean, there's some that are gonna stay closed, and those are the ones you don't want to eat. They could be dead or just not. Those are the ones that'll make you feel sick. So.
Are they alive right now when you're cooking them?
Yeah, they are. They're live mussels.
I didn't realize that.
They don't have feeling, Jenna.
But they're a mussel.
I was gonna make a bad paralyzed joke and say now they're door legs, but that doesn't mean we cook them.
Yeah, out of a pot about that size, you might get 3 or 4 that don't open.
You just want to take a look and see. Right? Looking like they're pretty.
Bread.
I mean, you don't want to overdo them either. I mean, that's the. I think they're.
Almost.
I think we're pretty close. Most of them are open, even for a little bit longer. But that's the thing. The mussels are. They're quick to do, and it's not a lot goes into doing them. It's high reward.
Yes, and lots of kisses from your girlfriend.
All right. All right. These are done. Okay, and now I'm just gonna put them in a serving dish.
No, it's not the most quad-friendly food if you think about it.
What crab?
No, the mussels, like even just getting them out of the little shells. I don't know if you ever with that.
I mean, some things you just get messy doing it. It's the whole fun of eating, right? I mean, you can wash your hands and stuff after.
Yeah.
I mean, because otherwise, there's so many things that I wouldn't eat because it's difficult. I mean, last couple weekends ago, I made ribs, and it was a mess, but it was good. It was worth it.
Do you cook professionally, Dan? I don't really know much about you.
No, I am a self-taught.
Just for fun?
Just for fun. I liked. There was one of the biggest things when I was at GS Strong was like, how am I gonna cook and stuff, and I didn't start cooking until I went over to a friend's house and saw him cook, and I was like, hey, I could do that. I'm like, why am I not doing that? And the first time I cooked, I think I made scrambled eggs, and I was like, hey, that's not that hard. All right, so now we got our camera down so you can see it. Right. So there's the mussels, and then we're just gonna take some the chimichurri and just put it on top, and it's gonna like, I mean, you're gonna get some of it in with the broth, and then you want to get it like you can scoop it up with the shells and everything, and also it just brings a little bit more color to. Or wait, there you go. Piece of bread.
What kind of bread do you like to eat with it?
I'm lucky. I just do a baguette. I mean, I have a Baguette and Co. is just down the street from me, so I got French baguettes right there. I like my neighborhood. Here, my other camera is a little bit better, so you guys can see what's going on here.
So Dan, when you were in rehab, before you saw your friend cook, you were thinking you wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, I mean, there you go. And that's mussels, guys.
I'm starving.
That looks nice. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I cooked a little bit in the kitchen at GF, but I mean, that's an adapted kitchen. My kitchen here at home isn't, because I don't know, I kind of used that as an excuse for a bit, but then I just made things work. I got an induction stovetop that really helped, that I can do at the table, and then it's just finding ways to do things. I mean, I definitely have burnt myself a couple times. I think the one time I was on here doing one of these things, I burnt myself. I got, like, you can see my arm is still like scarred up there from it. So,
Well,
I mean,
that was from then when you.
yeah, from when I did those meatball sandwiches.
Right.
You
Well,
can kind of see there's a scar here, here, and here. It's all from. You know what though? I was lucky. I'm a quadriplegic, so I don't have that much sensation.
That's one of the pros. That's on the pro side of things.
I didn't feel it. It didn't hurt. So yeah, I'm gonna try one of these.
So how long would you say that those mussels would last now that they're cooked? If you don't finish the whole bunch.
Oh, we're definitely gonna finish this.
Yeah. That's
not a concern.
They'll stay for a couple days in your fridge.
Yeah.
For sure.
What you can do with it is you can take all the meat out. Like after you're finished, you can just take a fork and take all the meat out and put it on the side. And you can actually make a separate salad topping for like a salad. You make like a romaine salad, and then just take the mussels with some of that chimichurri in it, just the plain mussels, and then put those all over your salad. Or the next day, we know it'd be really good. The next day, if you took a couple slices of that baguette, put some butter on it, toasted it, and then put the mussel meat on it with the chimichurri.
Yeah.
And then keep the juice as well, and dip, if there's any juice left from it. You could make a little soup the next day out of the mussels and the juice that's left over. There's a lot of things you can do with it.
Or you can just eat them all in one
Or you can just eat them all. They're only this big. You can.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a lot because there's a lot of shell, right? But,
right.
Do you have the recipe posted somewhere, or?
I can find one and post it. I mean, this is one I kind of.
Or you could just tell me, what were you cutting up when I first joined? It looked like maybe ginger.
No, I got for like the chimichurri.
Yeah.
So in the chimichurri, I did equal parts of basil, mint, and parsley. 3 cloves of garlic.
Oh, it was garlic.
Yeah, and then
It looked like white slices.
Yeah, and then a Thai chili and olive oil.
Okay.
And, lemon
like a
juice.
salad dressing almost.
Yeah, basically what you're doing is that's
yeah.
And like I said, it can go on so many different things. It can go on steak.
Oh, thanks, Jenna. Jenna posted it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do too. I mean, it depends on what you're making. I mean, if you don't like parsley, you can use cilantro. You can use whatever. Just chimichurri is
Oh,
just
I love
a bunch
cilantro.
of,
Mm.
a bunch of fresh herbs diced up together with olive oil that you can put on top of something. So, all right.
Well, thanks for inviting us over for dinner.
Yeah.
It's kind of rude of you to eat in front of us and not offer us any, though.
It's one of those things, right? But
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
In person one time. So
Don't wipe your face. You had pepper on your hand.
Yeah.
I noticed you evaded the part where I asked what your address was, so good on you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dan, for showing us. And I'll write up that recipe and I'll send it to everyone.
Okay.
You.
So you
Awesome.
have that in your inbox.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Yeah.
no
Thank
problem.
you.
Awesome. Thanks.
for coming up.